Live. A lot's going on, of course. I think I'm going to focus. It seems as though the focus of tonight's episode is about the children and the pedophilia that we are and the crimes against humanity representing. Sorry about my hair. About by the children and the like. I think that's where we're heading. I'm not sure. I mean, the economy is certainly a hot item. There's so much turmoil right now with the crypto going down, with silver and gold going down, and reports that I'm understanding are that the the fiat system is shut down. Again, this is the great awakening. This is the awakening of humanity to the criminal nature of the people who have been ruling us. Hey, Paul Little. Hey, Ian Bell. But I think it is. I mean, there's no question to me that it's happening. Another reminder collection to hit the like button. Thanks, Wade. You're so responsive. You're amazing. The just the reports I'm hearing now. I there's certain influencers that I'm very hesitant to. I don't really even like to look at their things, even though a lot of their posts are in total alignment with my thinking. There's some people that are just even more out there than I am, and they've been consistently wrong about the timing, which is not bad in itself. It's just that why are they dabbling in the timing of this great awakening when they've been wrong so many, over and over again. And I don't want to mention names, but I'm just saying I try to stay away from those people because they give me a false sense of in my opinion of the dates involved, of when this liberation event is to take place, because in my mind the liberation event takes place when a person decides to wake up, and that it's not dependent on what happens with a banking collapse or the EBS or any of this stuff. I've had some people say, that Ellie, you have to lighten up about the EBS. It's a necessary thing. It may be, but I think the EBS is upon us without the EBS necessarily happening. And the whole idea of like the EBS lighting up and telling, giving us 3 8-hour movies and locking down humanity for 10 days, it's just it just seems to me. Anyway, I don't even want to go into it because it's not an issue. Like I said, if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, great. But the fact of the matter is that with the release of the Epstein files, there is a lot of information that is in people's face. It's undeniable. If they choose to look away, that's their issue. We were we were on a mission today. EBS. Yeah, I know. I could probably have thousands, tens of thousands more followers if I would surrender to the idea and start saying the EBS is coming. People really like to hear that. It's a big turn on for people. I think it's misleading, and I don't. I like I said, because what I discussed last night. Now I'm not going to go back to the same thought stream that we evolved last night, which is that it's up to each and every one of us, and that we can't wait for the trumpets blaring and suddenly it's liberation. That to me is not the way this awakening is going to go down, even though it may go down like that. I see it happening as an evolution of consciousness, as an evolution of collective consciousness, and as part of that, and whether it's really or not, I mean, it just doesn't matter. To me, it's totally insignificant. What is significant is that each of us has to be responsible for their own personal awakening and for leaving slavery, and especially leaving a satanic transnational criminal organization that is running the world. At what point do we take personal responsibility for leaving the matrix and coming into the promised land? At what point? And I say I've long held this opinion that it's whenever you want. Whenever you want to escape the matrix, all you have to do is leave. People equate the matrix with they have to have the responsibilities, and they have children and all this other stuff. I'm thinking back now in this is how timelines can actually shift. But I'm thinking back now to the time when they were forcing the vaccine on teachers in New York City public school system. And at that time, I was already broadcasting. I was already, I knew about Q, I knew about all these things. And I was close friends. I mean, in terms of professional friends, I had this. There was this couple where I worked, a young couple, beautiful couple, uh, Orthodox Jewish, and they were in the same boat as me. I made the choice to, when they said either your job or you get the vaccine. I said, just, it's a no-brainer, man. I'm not getting the vaccine. Goodbye. And that was like, however many years ago. I thought it was a slam dunk. Um, that they would have to pay me my back pay and all this for firing me illegally. I think eventually they will, but there was a couple that also was in this situation, and they called me the night before this vaccine mandate was to come down on their heads, crying, saying, Ellie, we really don't want to get vaccinated, but we have children. And at the time, and I still feel a large part of me is like, I understand, you have kids, but if you think about it, now looking back at that moment, I'm thinking to myself, they should have just said, screw it. Our health is more important, and us being healthy for our children and our children being healthy and not vaccinated is more important. But this is kind of a hindsight way of looking at it. For all these years, I've thought to myself, I totally understand where they were holding, but now I don't. Now, in light of the way things have evolved, I no longer think that was a reasonable choice. Just like when a person I was close to got COVID, and we went, the doctors told us to go to the remdesivir. How do you say that? Whatever it is, that, what I'm talking about. To this clinic, they said there's this new stuff out, and it'll take care of her COVID. I went down there, and the nurse was very sweet and sexy, and telling us about this new thing that had come out, and it will cure her COVID. And I was livid. And I was like, no way are you taking this. There's no way you are taking this. I don't care what the nurse is, brainwashed. She's getting paid off. I didn't know, when we were in it, we didn't know, but I was just like, no way. And I remember very clearly that there was a pregnant woman who was also faced with the same decision, and she was crying. And I was not quietly talking to the doctor. I have a big mouth, and I was just like, there's no way you're taking this medicine. That we're out of here. And this woman saw this, and I'm sure they told her, if you don't do it, your child is, I mean, oh, they were just. But now, and this is what this particular video is about. Now we understand. Now we clearly have put together the pieces. We didn't know then. We just were going with our gut. But now we know this is a transnational criminal organization that murders children, murders people with chemtrails, with poisonous food, with poisonous medicine, with misinformation. These are democrats, and I'm talking about the rhinos too. These are demonic entities. These are uh, evil hordes. This is like I remember the Wizard of Oz, the evil flying monkeys. That's what these people are. They are not human. They are narcissistic. They are ignorant. They are the enemy. It says in the Matrix that the people that are asleep are your enemy until they wake up. Now, does that mean I hate these people? No. I don't give them that much. I don't expend emotional energy on those kinds of entities. I don't get involved. But why are the Republicans called the Republicans? Because the Republic represents freedom for people in the United States, for the end of the corporate America. But everyone is now being presented with the knowledge, with the information, with the evidence that these people are committing crimes against humanity. They're killing children, they're eating children, they're making children sex slaves, they're making not just children but women, they're harvesting organs, they are trading in adrenochrome, they are stealing all your money for these corporate NGOs where they basically just line their pockets, and that's okay, and that's become accepted by the world. But now that we know it, and hindsight's 2020. Now that we know about it, now that we know that Pizzagate was not conspiracy theory, that the Epstein file was not conspiracy theory, that Hillary and Bill were heavily involved in this child trafficking, that Obama was involved with child trafficking and sexual crimes against humanity. Now everything is different, and this is what Q said, is that the crimes against children will unite humanity, and I think that's where we're holding now. We're holding at this part of the storm where everyone, or those of us who want to understand what is transpiring on the planet, open up our eyes and go, like I used to think to myself, why is it that all these corrupt people are pedophiles? Is it that pedophiles like to have this kind of power? Or are they put in power because they are pedophiles and they can be bribed? They can be blackmailed. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Whatever it is, and wherever you're holding on the pedophile food chain, whether you're schlepping votes in Georgia, whether they're using your truck to move the paper ballots, or whether you were directly involved with Jeffrey Epstein, or with this demonic practice of killing and eating and drinking the blood of children. It's no longer excusable for us as those people who know, to just kind of like say, we'll wait and see. I don't want to appear foolish to people. I don't care about that anymore. I don't. I could. I just assume be foolish to people, because I believe that people deserve to hear the truth. It's not just because we're not liberals because we've been brainwashed by Donald Trump. It's not that at all. It's just the opposite. It's just that we've seen past the veil. We see the matrix. We see that our whole society, the structure of the entire framework of our society, is based on, you never see the child trafficking. You never know that what they're putting in McDonald's meat. You never know that Soylent Green wasn't just a movie, a fantasy movie. That they put these things in all the sodas in order to make you part of the satanic cult. Timing is everything. And it seems that we had to wait for this moment in time to release the Epstein files. A lot of people have been screaming, let's arrest people already, and this kind of thing. But there is a plan. This is a continuity of governance. This is a military plan, and the execution and the delivery of information, of evidence, is going to happen at the speed with which the military has decided. And like I said, they probably use time machines. They probably have all kinds of advanced technology at their disposal to make these decisions, to decide when the population is ready to see this evidence. Now, how does this tie in with the economic system? Because I think these are the two issues that seem to leap out at me right now. And they're saying that Bitcoin was basically a child trafficking currency, and that Gary Gensler was working for the mob with the SEC, and putting down Bitcoin. And now we're seeing in the Epstein papers how people were talking to Jeffrey Epstein. I think it was Michael Saylor wrote a letter saying, XRP and XLM are a direct threat to our new gimmick in how to rip off the people with and continue using our wealth and our power as a cover up for the real activity that was going down, which is child trafficking and murder and cannibalism and adrenochrome production and organ harvesting. All these things now, it's coming out in the Epstein papers. And now it seems to me the people have been softened up to the point, the people where they can accept that it wasn't just conspiracy theory, that, oh yeah, the Pizzagate, that was just a conspiracy. No, this was actual fact. It's an actual fact that Obama was trafficking children, was, these things. I heard from a person who worked in the Metropolitan in Opera that the conductor used to have children delivered to his when he was on the road. He would have children delivered to him. I don't know what happened to the children, but I mean, this is common practice apparently amongst the elites. And the whole structure of our society has been set up so that we don't even think to look. Because if you bring up any question, like we brought up questions with the Pizzagate thing, we were just laughed at and humiliated and called conspiracy theorists, which is just insane, an insane diversion of from the guilty ones to the innocent people who are trying to do the right thing. From Shecht, BC. Nice, nice. I love that. My daughter almost died at 5 months after a deep. Yeah, it was my wake up call. My seven children are unvaccinated. Thank God. I never would have known. Right. I know it's awesome. I don't know what this X thing is, but can you dig deeper? What does it mean to be human? Are we more than our bodies? Wieners had their insurance policy so repulsive, right? Can you dig deeper? What do we mean? I don't think that's the issue. Andrew, I don't know if that's what does that have to do with child trafficking? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but the fact of the matter is that we have been put into this shame situation where to be to speak the truth has been. I mean, I lost my job. I lost my YouTube channel. I had to leave my community because I just couldn't bear to be around people that were so blind to what seems so obvious to me with a little bit of rabbit hole connecting, with a little bit of research. This stuff was obvious. And I was watching the Orthodox community in New York City support vaccinations. And I'm thinking to myself, what is wrong with you people? I mean, I was like, I can't hang out with you anymore. I came here because you were the smartest people. You had a great worldview. You had mystic Judaism, which is so beautiful and spiritual. You had terminology. You had actual vocabulary words that describe spiritual situations that no other language has. Hebrew is a holy language. It's the gematria, everything. It's a fascinating study. But at the end of the day, find your if you can't find your behind with if you can't figure out that the vaccine was designed to kill you, then why would I even want to hang out with you? What? How dense? I mean, if I just felt like if I could figure it out, what's wrong with all these people? They're like, what are you talking about? The Rebbe said, do what the doctor says. Now, in my, to my knowledge, and I know the community quite well. There was no. A lot of people want to say there was child trafficking in underground tunnels, and that's just total bullshit. Because I know these people. They're not trafficking children. They're these are whatever. And I don't want to go into that whole can of worms. But the bottom line is, in my opinion, that we are now being faced with direct evidence that the elites of our world, the people running the world, the Larry Finks, the BlackRock, that all these things were set up, like the whole idea of the Wizard of Oz, like the whole society is set up so that we don't look behind the veil. And what's behind the veil? Barack Obama with little boys, uh, Schiff, the Schiff creep, parading around with like little kids, with little men, little boys. So this issue will unite all parties, and people who are still out in Minnesota with its obnoxious characters. I mean, they're just the foot soldiers of this elite army that is continually putting the blame on people like you and I, and not taking responsibility for their own sickness, which is beyond sickness, because these are pathological. These are pathological killers. These are serial killers. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and all these people. They're not just like bad, they're bad dudes. They have bad intention. They've been stealing our money. They're Oprah Winfrey, the goddess of light and love. They're saying she was a slave trader. So this kind of information seems to be coming out right now, and I think people are waking up to it. Recently, they were even discarding children in the ocean during trafficking, right? Crimes against, yeah, it's very common. Uh, Governments lie about everything. Some guy said, "Wait till you find out who started Bitcoin." Right? I know. I saw that tape. If you knew, you'd be running to get rid of it. Maybe Epstein. Yes, that's what they're saying. Is it Epstein and his creeps started Bitcoin in order to be able to hide their money? That's exactly what happened. So it is connected to the financial system, and they did purposely take down XRP and XLM because they wanted to run the world with Bitcoin. But it's all falling apart for them right now, and it's all collapsing. The darkness is just imploding on itself. There's no way these animals are human. Yeah, you could. I agree. I agree. They're not human. But what difference does it make? They're wearing human garbs. They look like humans. They're pretending to be humans. They're probably a good number of them are hybrids, hybrid reptilians, hybrid. They're from the line of humanity that came from Cain. There was a great I can't remember. I can never remember his name, but there's a rabbi who was talking about that he was a neighbor of mine. I can't remember his name, but a very influential mystic rabbi who was saying that Cain looked different from Abel, that Cain was basically a hybrid. He didn't say that as much, but that there was intermarriage perhaps with the reptilians, and these hybrids are still running the show, but it's over for them. That's why the quintessential story, the quintessential narrative in this whole thing is the story of Adam and Eve, is the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve are expelled for eating from the tree of knowledge because God was unhappy with, or Elohim, whatever it was not, did not like the idea of humanity knowing what they knew. That's what it says explicitly. They will be like us. They will eat from the tree of life and live forever, and they will be like us. We can't have that. Remember, the Satanists have to tell you what they're doing to you. That's part of their cult. They can't just do stuff to you. That's why the movies are all showing you what they do. That's why I stopped watching movies for 30 years, and now I'm fascinated by them because you can see the hand of the enemy in all this. In all these narratives, you can see it. So it's very interesting to me as a person who spends a lot of time crusading down rabbit holes. Golden Row from southern Indiana, nice. Ian Bell, Golden Arrow, Kentucky. There's no way these animals are human. Full of poisonous dyes, right? Some found with lead and every other vitamin. I know it is just beyond belief. You focus on these political and economic topics for many years. Have you dug deeper beyond the what and tried to discover the why? Angie, you seem to be really wanting to mislead me tonight. I don't really know why. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. Your point just seems distractive. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up, man. Um, but yeah, I just. This could be a tactic of a troll, but it could just be the topic of somebody who just doesn't want um, to examine the ideas that we're examining. I only watch comedies, never anything violent. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I actually have learned to watch violent things. I just close my eyes during the violent parts because I can't deal with it. But some of the we just finished this thing called Prison Break, which I thought was a fascinating series. Fascinating, the narration, the twists and the turns, and the real revelation of that the evil behind it all was really the intelligence agencies. But what the violence was horrific. I could not. I'm lucky to have Daniela sitting next to me, and I'm like, can I look now? So I just turn away during the violent parts, but because I thought the information was worth understanding. Have I dug deeper? I mean, I don't know how much deeper you can dig. How much deeper do I need to dig, Andrew? I mean, what kind of a question is that? I don't get it. What do you want? You want me to show you pictures? I mean, the pictures are there. All the evidence is going to come out. It was all on Anthony Weiner's laptop and all that stuff. Going south and raising Arizona. Right. Okay. Yeah. XRP is going down. Do not. In my opinion, I would never sell my XRP. The only thing I would say is I wish I had more cash. I would buy some more. If you know that that's but That's just me. And silver too. Now is a good. It's always a good buy. I would buy it at $200 an ounce. I would buy XRP at $5 if it was $5 if I had the money. For me, it's just about if I have the money at the time. If I had some extra money, I would certainly buy more XRP. I would not sell it. Just my opinion. I did buy, I did recently ditch my DJT stock. I had a significant number. I mean, for me, I'm a very we don't have a lot of. Listen, for me, my investment, buy the dips. Yeah, buy the dips. Buy silver, buy XRP, buy XLM. This is the time to buy, not sell. Do not sell now. Everything is going down, and that's the good news. That's really good news for an investor, a long-term investor. We're not. I'm not a day trader. I am like a long-term value investor, and XRP and XLM is going to have their day. That's what David Schwartz came out today, and he said, "You think there was some kind of a thing with the SEC with Gary Gensler and Bitcoin and Epstein Island. This is a mafia. This is a RICO case. This is worse than the mafia." So yeah, I would definitely say buy the dips, buy silver, if you buy copper, buy gold if you can do it. If you can't afford gold, what I'm doing is I buy gold mining stocks. That's sort of my go-to, gold and silver mining stocks. But I bought a bunch, and then the crash came. So even that is not right now a reasonable. It's still I'd still say buy the dips. Buy it can be mining stocks, it could be copper, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, whatever you want to buy. If you can afford it now, this is the time to buy, not sell. I don't know how long it's going to take and how far down it's going to go, but it's the fact that the Epstein files, that Jeffrey Epstein was involved with the creation of Bitcoin, I think sends a very strong signal to the world of what is going down right now. Yeah, comedy is good. Um, do we see Raising Arizona, baby? I have. You've seen it, yeah. I probably saw it. I don't know. Going South. I think I saw Going South. I think so. It's an old movie. When everything looks red, you should celebrate. Yeah, I agree, Walter. This is definitely a good time to celebrate and to buy. We were faced with a choice between investing a little bit or paying for the well, and I said to Daniela, let's pay for the well, man. Let's make a well payment, because for us the well is the greatest investment. In my opinion, having a well is the best investment you can make. It's better than XRP. It's better than silver. I would take land and a well, and We just bought a bunch of wood today. We drove to almost to the Grand Canyon and went to visited a sawmill and made friends with some very nice young people, and rode off with a trailer load of uh, sawmill lumber, of thick lumber, which was just it was just I said I feel like a kid in a candy shop. I mean, to me, being around piles and humongous piles of recently sawed lumber was just like I was like, whoa. She says, and they're like, you could take from this pile or this pile or this pile. And I'm like, whoa, So we filled up our truck our trailer with rather lengthy boards. Most of them were like 16 feet long, big, thick, ponderosa pine boards for our various building projects. The well house, the storage tank. I want to build a house around that. I want to build protection from the wind around the garden. I'm hoping to plant my trees soon. The house. We have lots of use, so we have tons, a nice amount of lumber now, and we just need the time to put things together. But yeah, buy the dips. Okay, so you guys are agreement. All right, let's go to the thought stream and just see. I'll just you can tell me if my take on things tonight are reasonable. They're Canaanites, right? A bummer, abomination. Keep building. Yeah, I love building. It brings me so much joy. And I was talking to the wife of the lumberyard of the sawmill operation, and she was saying, like, I just love being out here, like, creating things and design. I'm saying, I was like, yes. I was like, somebody who understands. It's like there's nobody standing over me. There's nobody saying, you said you were going to have this done in 3 hours, and now it's 8 hours. And like, I mean, that's how it used to be when I was a carpenter. It was just like I'm trying the best I can, but I want to do this thing right. Working on the clock, working for somebody else, doing labor for somebody else can be a real. It's a nightmare because you want to come in at the right price, you want to do the right work, but sometimes it's just beyond. It's just too hard, and it takes the time to really do it right. And some people are very good at explaining that to the customer, saying, well, listen, man, I'm very good at this, and it's just going to take another 5 hours. And I was never like that. I just felt bad for the people because they were they had expected a certain price, and I usually wouldn't charge them for it, but that just destroyed my own business. So I'm very happy to be building without any kind of pressure in that direction. The only pressure is this what I really want to do? And that's why I haven't opened up, or haven't really been open to having somebody come up here and help me, because I really want to get it, just like I want to be able to, like, shift. Like, I just decided to put on a second story in the back of the Earth ship. And was it a rational decision? Was it smart? I don't know. I don't care. It's like that's what I want to do, so I'm going to do it. But it's a long project. It's a big project. Dream for the future always makes me cry. Yeah, dreams. Yeah, dream for the future. Yeah, that's the bottom line. Is whatever I'm saying, whatever I said tonight about the pedophiles, about the crimes against humanity, the answer to all of it is just keep going. Don't look back. Don't be like Lot's wife. Don't get yourself in a knot. Like, the chemtrails could drive me nuts. I could, it drives me nuts. I've just had to, like, disconnect. I'm saying, like, I see them day and night, these chemtrails. It's like, when is this going to stop? And it's out of my hands. I'm doing the best I can. I post chemtrail videos whenever I see something that's just too outrageous to be believed. But I can't, and I pass along videos. But it's like the pedophile thing. I mean, people don't want to hear it. People, they're in their bubble. But I think I think psychologically people are in a position to accept more than they used to be able to handle. Okay, so let's so let 11:11 in Kentucky. Wow. All right, let's go to a couple of things that I noted here. Pedophile will bring down the royal family, the CIA, the deep state, the Vatican, Hollywood. It's happening right now, right before your eyes. This is the elite apocalypse. Very interesting post and quite beautiful. Um, Shit is really going to get dark on all levels. You see it, you feel it, you can sense it. Remember why you were awakened before everyone else. The coming weeks and months will eclipse everything we've experienced so far. You are ready. You have prepared yourselves. Every mission eventually transitions from training to action. The training is over. Now begins the phase in which you will be the calm in the storm. Where we go one, we go all. So let's just watch this video because I love this video. I don't know if I can watch this. Be the calm in the storm. And think of that and watch this video. So right, be the calm in the storm. That is something to just remember. We can't we have to stay because people are freaking out right now. People and it's going to be more and more freakish as the information comes out. 1111 Northern Michigan. I'm sorry I started so late. We are birthing the new earth through us, literally. Exactly right. That's great. Grateful, powerful. 777. Embrace the suck as we shift through for all. Where we go one, we go all. And let me just God grant me the serenity, right, to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. That's a great one, Richard. Let me just put on just to remind everyone that this is all about the republic. This is the return to the republic. We are going to be rid of these criminal elite pedophiles forever, the Canaanites, whoever they are. They're going to be gone soon, and we are going to return to living in the republic, to divinely inspired law. Brian Best, Spiritual Bean Coffee, great stuff. Brian roasted himself in very small batches, all organic coffee. He makes his own blends. I was spoiled by Brian. He had us over for a couple of for a while, for quite a while. We used to find refuge over there when we first moved onto the land. Things were really rough for us. I mean, we didn't have hot showers for a while. We had things with water. We didn't have money. Before I had solar panels and all that, we were living off a generator. Things were really not very pleasant. We used to find refuge. Brian and Corinne would take us in. We were like two like wet puppies coming into their house, and they would like feed us and let us shower and stuff in their house and clean us up and then send us back to the uh, to the off-grid situation. But things have gotten a little better. I mean, we're still living in an RV. We're still, I was telling my mom sometimes, we you can't help but bump into each other. We live in such a small space, but we anyway, things are better now. But yeah, join the Republic for USA.org. This is very important that we re-inhabit the Republic. This is divine law. The creepazoid, the parasites, the corporate entities, the Satanists, the Baal worshippers, the Epstein cronies, they're all going down. They're getting arrested in a big way right now, I believe, behind the scenes. And that's another post. Okay, so let me go back to the posts again because there's some interesting information that's coming out. Okay, so that's that. Now, let's just keep going. Now, this is kind of controversial to me, but U.S. Inc. government fiat U.S. dollar maritime law end. The cabal's slavery system collapses today. Patriots, the storm just hit terminal velocity. Judy Byington's initial intel drop confirms the privately owned U.S. corporation Inc. is bankrupt and shutting down for good on Saturday, January 31st. Is today the 31st?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to say something about this post. Oh no, what happened? I did it. Oh, uh-oh. I think I'm out again. What happens if I stop sharing? Oh gosh. I have to go back. I think I messed up. Can you guys hear me? Can anyone hear me? I can't bring my picture up. All right, so I assume you can see me. I have to go back into that thing. How do I do this? This happens periodically. Let me try. Can you? Yeah, I get the code. Okay, I'm just gonna have to end for tonight because I pressed the wrong button. I'm really sorry, but everything is good. May the force be with you. May you realize you are the force. May source be with you. May you realize you are the source. And let's get out with a big smile on our face